Hey guys, so today's podcast is how to write a poem, getting started, and I'll give you the top 5 ways to get your creative juices flowing and how to write a poem if you've never done it before, or you might discover something that you haven't tried. So number 1, if you want to start writing a poem, go online and find writing prompts or poem prompts. Now prompts they could be sentence stems, so they might give you the beginning of a sentence and you complete the sentence or fill in the blanks. They might give you an idea, such as write a poem about your pet, write a poem about your mother, a poem about heartbreak, etc., etc. So they're just ways to jog your memory and give you ideas that you might not have thought of yourself, and there's tons of them online, so look up writing prompts or poetry prompts. There's a group called the Dirty 30 which is on Facebook, and during April they put up a prompt every day and you can respond to that. So there are lots of groups around and you can talk to friends, see what kind of prompts they have, and that's a great way just to jolt your creativity if you're feeling a bit stuck. Number 2, the second one is choose a structure or form. So you might like to try and choose a formal structure like a haiku or sestina, any type of poetry form. So just have a Google, have a look at poetry form, and then what you do is you just start writing in that form. So for example, they might say 2 syllables in one line, 5 syllables in the next line, 2 in the next line. So you just follow the structure and use that as like a template or a base to build a poem from, and that's really fun, and there's heaps of different styles to try. The third way is you could start writing stream of consciousness. Now a lot of people like to do automatic writing or stream of consciousness writing. It's kind of like journaling, so you want to just write down whatever comes to mind and just get the pen moving on the paper or get those keys tapping on your keyboard. So that's a good way just to get going, get moving, just write whatever comes to mind, don't censor it at all. You don't have to show it to anyone, so it's not to be edited, it's just a way to get like I guess a warm-up exercise before you go for a run, so then you can shape it later, and that's just a good way to start if you're not sure how to start a poem. The next one, number 4, is what I like to call the kernel, and you might have thought of something during the day, you might have seen someone interesting on the train, picked up something off the ground, maybe keep a little bit of a notebook for these sorts of things, and I call it a kernel. So what it is, it's like a seed. So you find a seed and you go, I'm quite interested in the idea of climate change, and that's your seed, and you go, okay, I'm just going to write about climate change. I'm just going to write whatever comes to mind about that topic. Even if you want to brainstorm it, do a little diagram with the word in the middle and write around it, and then you can shape it from there. And having a little kernel or a seed is a great way to start, and you never know what can blossom or grow from that seed. And finally, the last one, actually we've got 6 points. So the 5th point is wordplay. So start with a word and maybe try word association or twist the word around, find its opposite, find something that connects to that word. So just play around with the words themselves, that's quite fun. You might even just like to do it on a big piece of paper with a coloured pen, and just play around with the sounds of the words and the look of the words, and not so much focusing on the content or the structure. And that's quite a fun way, because what it does, it stimulates the connections in your brain to think, okay, I could jumping off point to something else, and it creates a creative connection. So that's a really fun thing, is just to play around with words. You might like to use magnetic poetry or write words on paper and cut them up, or even just cut words out of magazines, which leads me to my last one, which is 6, which is steal or collage. So sometimes it's called blackout poetry, and what you can do is find a page of an old book, a page of a magazine, something that someone has already written, or a poem that you like. You might want to print it off and cut it up, and then what you do is with a black marker pen you mark off certain words so that to make a whole new poem. And that's a really visual way. If you're a really visual person or an arty-farty person, that's a great way to write a poem as well. So if you have any other ways that you guys write poems, please drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to keep up to date with all our cool content. And yeah, we will catch you in the next video. Thanks guys.